back here again with the Blind Merrill for more winter upgrades. Now, today what I decided to start doing is pulling the rear end out. I'm still not done cleaning up the floor, but to be completely honest with y'all, I'm sick of doing it. So, my weekends off, I've been out here pretty much every day, and like Friday, Saturday, and a little bit on Sundays too. Just going at it, and well, turn the light on, and you can see, well, this part here, we're gonna just cut out and put a new piece in. Then the T56 hump, hooker headers, T56 hump. And then back here, underneath where the seats go, I'm not super concerned about that because you can't see it. And I don't know if I'm gonna put boom mat down there or not, but well, I'm getting at it, you know, I'm working on it. Up here, it still got a little bit more to do. So up there, and then same with the driver's side. This rubbery type stuff that they put down on the floor has really been a bear to get through, and it's not been fun. This has not been an enjoyable project by any means. At first it was kind of fun, and after about doing it for, you know, 12 hours, it's not fun anymore. It's annoying. So anyway though, so the game plan for today is I'm gonna jack the car up a little bit. I'm gonna pull the wheels off. I'm gonna jack it up a little bit more. I'm gonna put jack stands behind the subframe connectors, but still on the actual frame. Let the rear end come down, and then break the 4 bolts loose that hold the bottom plate on, and then use my air ratchet to just spin the nuts off, because it's going to take forever doing it by hand. I'm not about that. Then I'll support the rear end with the jack. I'm going to take out the bolts for where the leaf springs are in the back on the shackle, and let the back of the leaf springs come down, and then hopefully just slide the rear end right off the back. We got to take off the shocks, we got to take off the brake line, and the emergency brake stuff too. I haven't done that. Gary usually does that, so we'll figure it out. Worst case scenario, it won't come all the way out, but it'll be ready to just pull out. The game plan is, in March, I want to get the transmission on the way, the clutch on the way. That'll come from Summit, so it'll be here like the next day, because Summit shipping kicks ass, and it's in Ohio. It's not super far away from me. And then but yeah, I want to do all that in March, towards the end of March probably. And then I have the stuff to paint the rear end, paint the third member. I got the little nut kit to mount the third member, because you don't, you know, after paying $1,153 for rear end and axles, or the housing and axles, you'd think it'd come with the nuts to mount the third member. It don't. So have those coming on the way. And the suspension showed up. It's sitting back here. Let me get the light. I can show you that. So basically, I want to have the rear end, the suspension in, and the floors fixed up, ready to go. So all we got to do is slam a tranny in and a clutch, order a drive shaft, wah-boom, you know, we're ready to fucking go. Right here though, Calvert split monoleaf leaf springs. They're stacked right now, and then I just looked in the box because I just wanted to just look at it. Would you just look at it? Yeah, it's a clusterfuck back here. We know that. So yeah, suspension's here, rear end's here, all the shit's here. It's been like a year almost waiting for everything to show up finally, and it's here. So that's the game plan for today. And so where was I going with that? I'm gonna time lapse it a little bit, and I'll stop and give you updates, show you where I'm at. The leaf springs and the 2nd gen suspension, piece of cake. It usually comes out pretty easy. So additional things I'm gonna have to do is, because I got these trick shackles that have like solid bushings, we gotta drop the fuel tank out and press the bushing into the frame of the car, or press the old bearing. No, I don't think there's a bush. I think it's a rubber. I think we just press the new stuff in. Garrett made a tool to do this, so he's the brains behind the operation. Clearly, is it not me? I am not the brains. I'm just a guy that makes some money that still lives at home and wants to go fast, who happens to be blind. Well, not blind, but pretty fucking close to blind. So anyway, though, I'm gonna get the tunes going. We're gonna jack this up. We're gonna pull these big, fat, nice BFG tires off and wheels off, the El Cheapo Summit wheels. BFG, if you're listening, you want to send over some radial TAs, we would happily burn them off for you. And that's what we're gonna do. So we'll check back with you in a little bit. All right, guys, got the wheels off. So pretty much, I want to give you a short little rundown of what's going on. So flip the camera around. All right, so there's jack stands underneath there. That's for safety, because we're all about safety. Anyway, though, so as you can see up here, we have traction bars. Now the traction bars did do their job. Did do their job. This car did not wheel hop. And then these, all this shit, except for the housing, came off of Garrett's car. And the shit that's inside the housing, that's all the stuff I bought. But the suspension, traction bars, and shocks all came from Garrett's Firebird before he switched to Caltrax. So anyway, here we are. So the old school slapper bar down there, and it has a little bolt there. You can kind of preload it a little bit, or U-bolt there, you can preload it a little bit. And then, you know, just some El Cheapo Summit shocks, which are going to stay on here for the time being. And these are a 5-leaf HD heavy-duty leaf spring, because Garrett was trying, his car was squatted real bad when he got it, and he was trying to get the ass end up. And these springs got the ass end up. His car now sits 3 inches lower than mine sits, so they did the intended purpose. Now, hopefully, I got the -1 inch split mono leaf spring Calvert spring, so I'm hoping this thing doesn't come down 3 inches, or we're going to be in like some problems with clearance of wheels and tires. So fingers crossed on that deal. So anyway, though, yeah, I'm gonna jack this up a little bit higher. I'm gonna move the leaf springs down underneath here. You can see where the subframe bolts in there, subframe connectors. I'm gonna put the jack stands right behind that. I couldn't find my other jack stands. There seem to be missing, so I'm not happy about that. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna put jack stands down there, and then take the pressure off, pull the drive shaft. I just realized that I didn't mention that in the other video. To me, that's kind of a given. Like, you can't take the rear end out without the drive shaft, but this is YouTube, and people want you to be super specific, or they roast you in the fucking comment section. So, we're gonna pull the drive shaft out. Then, I'm gonna undo these 4 U-bolts, and the shocks, and the 2 little U-bolts for the traction bars. Take the, unbolt the shackles there from whatever is the easier top or bottom location, whatever is easier per side. I don't really give a shit. And then I'm going to let the springs tilt down. And then hopefully I'm going to slide this rear end right out of the ass end of the car. And then I'm going to put on another set of jack stands, the rear end, and I'm going to take the back cover off because I'm kind of curious to see if the gears are destroyed inside of it. Because this thing would vibrate bad. I mean, to the point where, like, you could hear, like, a boo, like, it was concerning, the sounds that it was making. So, kind of the whole reason we spent all this freaking money to do this 9-inch swap. So, in that, I'm sick of dealing with 10 bolts, because this the second go around, I'm just done with it. So, this game plan, I'm starting on it. We'll catch you up. Maybe I'll time lapse a little bit. I don't know. It's not really, there's no good spot to time lapse because everything's all tight and I don't have a lift. So, anyway, I'll figure something out. Either there'll be a time lapse or there won't. But we'll catch you up later. Hey guys, status update. So here's where I am at currently. I don't know how to take the brakes apart. I don't know drum brakes very well. So I'm trying to talk to brains in the operation. That'd be Garrett coming over here and giving a hand. So got the drive shaft out. Got the U-bolts for the front of the traction bars there out. And I got the shocks disconnected. And I'm just going to leave them chill there like that. Now, one of the interesting things about second gens, at least, and probably most all old GM cars, is you basically only need 2 wrenches to work on the entire car for the drive shaft bolts, the shock bolts, and the traction bar bolts. I only used one wrench, a 9/16. So 9/16 and 1/2 inch is pretty much all you need. 13/16 for the lug nuts, and 3/4 for the bell housing, trans to the bell housing. I'm pretty sure the U-bolts that are on, or the nuts that are on the U-bolts, I'm pretty sure those are 3/4 too. So basically like four sockets and you're good to work on the whole car. Now there is one 10mm on this car from the factory. It's where the ground wire bolts in under the hood. That is what we call a motherfucker. It's like, come on, guys. So anyway though, that's where we're at. It's coming out pretty quick. I'm gonna go ahead and start ripping these U-bolts off, or at least get them loose to where they flop around a little bit, and then leaf springs, and there we go. Oh, well, that emergency brake cable. Like I said, try and talk Garrett into coming over and help me out. We'll see if he does or not. So that's where I'm at with this whole process. I've only been out here for an hour and a half. Most of that time I've been looking around for my other set of Harbor Freight jack stands that I can't seem to find. I got all the big ones. I had a little set. I don't know where the little set is. I got another little set under the car, but I wanted to use the other ones because I like them a little bit better for this application. Whatever, we'll find them. That, or I'll accuse my brother of taking them because he likes to take shit out of here. So I'll keep on keeping on and let you know where we're at. All right, guys. So here's where I am at. Sounds like Garrett is going to come over here after a little while. Traction bars are off. There's these bolts here. They are 3/4 inch, which kind of what I thought. That's what I remembered. There's 4 of them. Really, there's 6 if you count the part that like kind of preloads the suspension a little bit. Well, one thing I want to talk about here real quick is I like tools. Here comes the he's a tool, whatever. Anyway, though, gear wrench ratchets here. These are nice ratchets. 3 degrees per click. I mean, super fine teeth, and it's really strong. This, I was having a hard time breaking the bolt loose, so I had it up underneath there and I put my foot on it and I just pushed it. Didn't break, so I'd say it's a pretty good ratchet. Now, like I said, I don't want to crank because those threads, they get full of dirt and shitty because being underneath the car naturally, and that, and you're like stretching the U-bolts as you're, anyway, pain in the ass. So Aircat air ratchet, they claim this one has 165 foot-pounds of torque, if I remember. This was supposed to be the most powerful air ratchet on the market. If it is or not, I don't know. I remember I bought it on Amazon back in the day when I worked at Traxxen. And I remember I used it to put the rear end in last time, and then Garrett came over and did the brakes and all that shit. But anyway, though, the reason I talk about it, and I want to mention, is that Aircat is one bad mofo. Because on the other side, I was like, hell with it. I'm just going to stick it on there and let it rip, see if it'll break them bolts loose. And I shit you not, the air compressor wasn't even all the way pumped up. It was running. I put it on there, and it broke all 4 of them loose. Without even breaking a sweat. I mean, just, wah! So, super impressed with this here Aircat air ratchet. It wasn't that expensive either. It wasn't $200, I think, when I bought it at least. So anyway, yeah, just wanted to share that with everybody. All right, guys, quite a little while later, the mastermind of the operation showed up. Here's the 10 bolt. We're gonna rip this rear cover off and see how messed up the gears are. And yeah, so there we go. Cover's off. Surprisingly, the gears don't actually look too bad. There was some shiny shit in the oil, but Garrett thinks pinion bearing's probably going out. Anyway, nice 10 bolt for sale here. Comes with suspension, slapper bars. It needs rebuilt. So
it's got a 30 spline posi unit in it, 30 spline Mosier axles.
Billet yoke.
1350 yoke.
Yeah. So some good shit. I spent some money on it. It's a Yukon gear diff. So anyway, though, yeah, nice rear end. Needs rebuilt. Also have leaf springs for a second. What's that?
Or maybe just put all the guts in your housing since this one's
Yeah.
questionable.
Yeah, this housing, yeah, you might want to put the shit in your housing. Some leaf springs here. Good shape. They went a 1208 at 116 mile an hour. And some slapper bars here. Lakewood slapper bar. I can't remember the brand. All of them formerly used on a 79 Pontiac Trans Am.
They've been passed around.
Yeah. They're like your slutty sister. They've been passed around. Well, you know, you'll have that. Anyway, though, so in here is the good shit. Hit that button again, make the light brighter. There you go. How's the pinion look? We haven't really.
Get back in here. I spun around. I didn't see nothing.
Well,
I didn't see anything.
This has been slightly disappointing. I was hoping like to see some carnage.
Looks like there might be a little bit of wear on the very far edge. It's hard to see, but I would say that the pinion bearing's probably jacked up in it.
Yeah.
Since the pinion came loose, I retightened it.
So now this rear end was built by us once, and it screwed up, and we had it. Yeah. I had it rebuilt by someone who actually does know what they're doing, and the same thing happened again. So some weird shit going on. I don't know. But stick car, dumping the clutch. I dump the clutch a lot. And when you're on the track, sticky tire, pretty much. Stick car, 9-inch.
It didn't run on the track that much, but still.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it probably made 12 passes, 10, 12 passes.
I just thought of this because was it right before we took it to 42 the first time? So I retightened the pinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going ever since until it started making some hairy noise.
Yeah. Well, Ray, a friend of mine, him and his dad went through and redid this the second time. When I told him what was going on, he goes, "Ooh, that's not good." And then I told him we were going drag racing the next day. He's like, "Ooh, that is not good." And so he texts me later on the next day, and he goes, "So how did it go?" I go, 1208, 116 mile an hour. He goes, "Well, damn, it sounds like you got a hot rod on your hand, but how's the rear end?" I go, it's together. And he couldn't believe we didn't leave it on the starting line. So Garrett, he
progressively gotten worse.
Yeah. When Garrett rode in the car at the end of the season, or towards the end of the season, it was at that moment when he goes, "Yeah, you probably ought to do something about this," because it was alarming amount of
sitting in the back seat, you got the hump right there. Let's face it, the rear end's about right here. Yeah, it makes pretty wild noises. So.
It was vibrating so much that you could hear the car resonating. It was boom, like
only sheet metal in the car vibrate.
Yeah, and the more we were beating on it, the worse it got too.
Yeah, the hotter it got, the worse it got. And the more you drove it, the hotter it got, the worse it got.
Because we had the car piled 4 deep with my brother, his girlfriend, me, and Garrett, and we were out there.
You were trying to upstage my burnout.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was romping on it as hard as I possibly could, and this rear end was telling me it was pissed. So, but anyway, though, this is the update. Backing plates are going to come with this. Garrett has 2 sets of them, so I'm going to steal a set from him, put on the 9-inch. Suspension, that's for sale. Keeping the shocks for now. Going to put Vikings on it later. Not a priority right now. And there's Vikings on the front too, by the way. So get a matching set. But there we are. So anybody in Northwest Ohio needs a 10-bolt or needs some good shit to put in their 10-bolt and needs some suspension for a 2nd gen, let me know. We can work something out. And yeah, but thanks for tuning in. We're up to 146 subscribers now. That's amazing. Thank you for commenting, subscribing, and sharing all the good stuff. Please continue to do so. Thank you.